Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim. Thank you so much for the support. Hope you all are doing great. So I am seeing different videos from different content creators, and a woman was talking about how they are not calling white people because white people have not been in the picture for them. So they are calling black people because black people have been the only one in the picture for them. So I am going to ask this. So how do you treat the people that have been in the picture for you? Because if people have been in the picture for you, I expect you to treat them nicely. All right. Now I feel like Latinos will not learn because if these people remember what they experienced during Ronda Sunny's era, when he chased all of them away, like chased them away. They couldn't come out, they couldn't do anything because he didn't want them around. And these same people called black people to help them. Black people told them no, that they were the ones that voted for him. Because if you also look around, how many percent voted for, like 80 or 90% of Latinos voted for this man. Now, coming back to, I have seen different videos of Latinos using the N word on my people, and they will never have remorse for using it. Not until you all are ready to make difference. When you all are ready, black people will know you already. Let's get into this.
I have a lot of people in the comments talking about, why are you just talking about African Americans? Why are you just asking for our support? Why are you not asking white people? Why are you not asking Asian people? If it's not clear by now, they have never been part of the fight. And that's not to come for you guys, but the majority is not the minority, right? Black and brown are the minority in this country. We have had a lot more issues than any other race in this country. So, by default, you would kind of think like we would stand together, having a history of so much oppression. And, I'm not trying to discredit anybody else, but we have both been through a lot. This is not even a topic of conversation. Once y'all get over the fact that it's not a race thing, because there's only one race, and that is the human race. And if you guys want to continue to put us in separate teams, then we are never going to fix the problem.
You guys put yourselves in a separate race from us. Hispanics, Latinos have always made it clear that they are not the blacks. Me no black, me no black, me no black. What about Native Americans? The so-called Native Americans? Y'all actually look a lot alike, to be quite honest. How come you ain't calling on them? Aren't they a minority? Asians are not a minority. Like, the math just is not mathing with this one. You know what it is? What it all boils down to? What people never want to admit is that Black American people have always fought, and we have always prevailed. No matter if y'all want to say we on the bottom or what, we got ourselves out of shackles. It was not just because some white man one day woke up and said, oh, I think I want to let my slaves free. I think I want to let go of my free labor. Clearly that was not the case, because look at what followed with Jim Crow. The most lynchings happened in America after so-called slavery was abolished. If you picking up what I'm putting down, we've always fought and we've always prevailed. You might not want to call us victors or winners, but we've always prevailed. I'll use that word. That's the operative word. And y'all all recognize that. I'm glad that y'all keep calling on us, because y'all know who we are. Deep down inside, y'all know that we put boots to the motherfucking ground. Where them fans at? Whoa, 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 I got my boots on the ground. Y'all know we get shit done. Y'all know we make noise. But what I don't like is that y'all are being so disingenuous and making it seem like we've always had this solidarity and this unity amongst us, when you all in your own communities have anti-blackness that you have yet to address in your own communities. The Afro-Latin community is underrepresented. They face discrimination, racism, colorism. And y'all take those same ideas and ideologies, and when y'all migrate here, y'all bring that with y'all. And y'all try to treat us like the same way y'all treat the black folk in y'all's countries, respectively. But instead of calling on us, why don't you call out the people that's actually doing these things to you? White people have helped us too to fight during the civil rights movement, more so than Latinos and Hispanics. Like, let's just keep it real. Why not call on them? Why not call on white people to be allies with you? This is very, very interesting. And I don't want anybody to get maimed or PayPal'd with a rubber bullet. I don't like the footage that I've seen of people getting ran over by cars. It's very, very unfortunate. I'm not sitting up here saying that doesn't, I have empathy. But I don't want to be out there getting shot. I don't know. Anyways. What do y'all want us to do? That's it. Let me ask. What do y'all want us to do? For the ones that keep saying, where's the black people? What exactly do y'all want us to do? Spread love is the Brooklyn way.
For all of y'all that say I need to be on the front line with them Hispanics when that ICE raid hit, I got a video for you that I posted on November 9th, 2024, when it was in my comments calling me an uneducated monkey. When the Mexicans, the El Salvadorians, the Honduran, when they was in my comment section calling me an uneducated monkey, let me show you what I posted. Jesus, good morning as this sun just smacks my melanated face on this beautiful Saturday morning. I have to drop some history on you. I know my followers don't like to watch these long 10-minute videos about history sometimes, but sometimes y'all just think y'all is so much smarter than me. I think it's because I come off, just as a regular, chill, laid-back guy, and y'all just think that I'm ignorant, huh? See, the reason that black people don't trust the government and don't vote the way that you all want us to vote and haven't fallen for the same things that you Hispanics have fallen for over and over again is because we're not new here. We've been here for over 400 years, and our grandparents, great-grandparents, our elders of different families, all from the South, have told us plenty of times where we've gotten betrayed over and over and over by those same politicians that put you on the forefront to get them in office just to kick you right back out of this country. So let's work our way up, Jesus. Let's start in the Great Depression in the 1930s, and let's just work our way all the way up to the Civil Rights Movement. You know, the same movement, the reason that you feel comfortable in this country, the reason that you're not a second-class citizen in this country because of black people in the Civil Rights Movement. You know that movement? Yeah, let's talk about that lab. So Trump says he wants to militarize Border Patrol. And we've seen it before in 1930 during the Great Depression when they started kicking out all of these Mexicans, and not all of them were illegal immigrants. 60% of them, that's over half, if you don't know the math, over half of these immigrants that were kicked out of the country during this time period were legal U.S. citizens. And the reason that they're kicked out is because, do you really think America's going to give you a fair trial? When they start boarding them buses up, when they start throwing y'all on these buses, when they take your whole family, do you really think when they start pulling y'all over and checking these cars and throwing you in these cages, do you really think you're going to get a fair trial? Do you think that, Jesus? I'm going to just let the clip play.
Allowed to come into our country. When you see gang violence that you've read about like never before, and all of the things, much of that is people that are here illegally. And they're rough and they're tough, but they're not tough like our people. So we're getting them out. Well, this is not the first time people of Mexican descent have been demonized, accused of stealing jobs, and forced to leave the country. During the Great Depression of the 1930s, more than 1 million people residing in the United States were deported to Mexico. So some estimate as much as 60% of them were U.S. citizens of Mexican descent.
In 2003, then California State Senator Joe Dunn held hearings in Sacramento where survivors gave testimony about what happened to them during the forced expulsions, which the government called repatriations. This is Senator Dunn stressing the importance of the hearing.
The idea from which this nation was born was the promise to all of liberty and justice. Today we examine a tragic part of American history where we betrayed the justice part of that promise. And a betrayal that affected a staggering number of individuals. By some estimates, almost 2 million individuals were deported from the United States in the 1930s. Some estimate that almost 60% of those that were deported were United States citizens. And and they were deported for but one reason. They just happened to be of Mexican descent.
Ruh-roh. Ruh-roh. We getting down to the nitty-gritty. We getting down to the meat and potato. Oh, we getting down to the carne asada. Yeah. We getting down to the pinto bean. Like I said, when you get pulled over and they send you on them, they throw you on them buses, do you really think that they even going to check if you Mexican or Salvadorian, Venezuelan? Do you think that they really going to look into your family history? Do you really think they're going to take 2 million people and give every single person a fair trial? Get the all right, let's fast forward, Jesus, because I ain't done with you yet. I ain't done with you yet, Jesus. Now, let's go to 1954, when the U.S. needed help in these fields, and they just started, let's import all of these hardworking migrants into the country, straight from Mexico, right? But they said only men. Only men. You know why? Because they didn't want to deal with the naturalization part. They didn't want to deal with it this time. They didn't want to say, you know what? We're taking away people's constitutional right to stay in this country after they already have kids here. So you know what they did? They said, no women allowed, only men. They used these men for years for working in these fields. And then when it was time to get rid of them, they did the same thing. Mass deportation. And the same thing happened. They did not check people's paperwork. And again, U.S. citizens that were born in the U.S. were kicked out of the country yet again. 1954. You want to look that up too? Come on now. Let's bring it on in. Now let's go up to the civil rights movement, where all of these Hispanics started coming out of the woodwork and saying, let the black people fight their own battle. We're not fighting a battle with them. We are our own people and we have our own battle to fight. And y'all wanted y'all proximity to whiteness. See, black people have learned time and time again, even when black people see that 19% of people that voted for Trump and they see these people that want that proximity to whiteness, we laugh in their faces because we do not care about these coons. But your people, they need a word for people like you, because black people like you are coons. His problems are not mine. I don't want to ally with them. Okay. What year was this? 1956? Woo! Because the civil rights movement was right after that. Now, Jesus, why do your people of color feel comfortable coming to America? Why do your people of color feel comfortable coming to America? Why are you not a second-class citizen? Why are you not adhering to Jim Crow laws? Maybe because the March for Freedom and Jobs. Maybe because the Brown versus Board of Education. Maybe when you come to this country and you go get you a white girl, maybe that's because of the Supreme Court justice passing that constitutional right for interracial marriage because of black people. What about Regents of University of California versus Bach? What about the reason that you're able to attend colleges without having that discrimination towards your people? What about the reason that you're able to rent and buy homes in this country? Oh, you talked about buying property in my comments too. The reason that you're able to buy property in this country and not redlined is because of the civil rights movement. I need you to slow down, Jesus. And last but not least, the reason that you're able to vote. And not only the reason that you're able to vote, because even once we got the rights to vote, they were still violent at the polls. So we had to do a march again. Oh my God. Wow. So every human in this country has the constitutional right to go down there to the polls and have safe voting without any discrimination, without any violence, without any disruption. That is, again, because of the civil rights movement led by black people. And all we wanted y'all to do is listen to us one last time. One last time. But you want to be a Trump supporter. You want to be a Trump supporter. So when y'all see us on this app and we talking our stuff, leave us alone. The biggest attack on intellectualism is the fact that if you don't have enough clout, you cannot drop facts or give information or give history to these people because you need more clout. This girl tagged this girl right here, and I broke down throughout history, the history of this land being stolen, and then America bringing in Latinos to be used and then deported again illegally when over half of them were U.S. citizens, but they were being deported by the masses just for being Mexican. And then how they brought them back in, used them again, but only brought men because they didn't want women to be here, to have children here and be naturalized. So they didn't want to go through that again. Then I talked about how during the civil rights movement, the Hispanic leaders told them time and time again that the blacks fight is the blacks fight. And this is not our fight and we should not be fighting with them. Even though if we didn't have the civil rights movement, they would still be second-class citizens. And they're treated as such right now, even though they are supposed to have rights. And most of them are citizens, or most of them are trying to go through the process legally. And they're getting picked up and detained at their court hearings. And I talked about all of that in November, mind you. I talked about this in November, mind you. But since I don't have more than 1,000 likes, then it is all null and void, right? This is the attack on intellectualism in this country. If you don't have clout, if you're not a billionaire, your voice doesn't matter. And this is exactly what I keep on saying over and over and over again. The ignorance doesn't have a color. Y'all go watch this video. I know it's 10 minutes, but I broke down the history of Hispanic people and Latinos and immigrants in this country and how they get used over and over and over again and pushed out over and over and over again. And how black people have been trying to tell them, because we've went through this for 400 years, tell them every single time that if they're being brought in, it's not for something genuine. It's always disingenuous. We would never win this fight if we don't band together. And I said that over and over and over again, but now I'm tired. Now I'm tired. I got Hispanic friends in real life, but I'm not about to fight on the front lines. I'm not going out there because, like I said, in real life, we know if I passed away today from some type of craziness, it would not be a mass. It may be some Hispanics in the DMV out there on the front lines for me, but there would not be a mass following of Hispanics speaking up and going out on the front lines for me. So I stand with you behind this phone, like I said, because unless I got enough clout, just because I don't have 1 million followers, then I don't have enough clout to give you information, to give you your history. This is your history.
So there's a video going around right now on Twitter and Instagram. I can't show it on my page because I'll get violated real quick. But in that video, you have not one, but 2 Mexicans calling a black cop the N-word. Nobody around them tried to stop it. Nobody around them tried to check that shit. And that's the problem. Y'all think y'all have the right to say that word, but in the very next breath, have the audacity to ask black people to come and stand with you? The audacity to ask us to put our fucking lives on the line for you? To risk going to jail for you? Motherfuckers treat Afro-Latinos like shit, like they don't exist. What the fuck on God Green's earth would make us think that you give a fuck about us, about our safety? Even in the midst of them snatching you the fuck up, you still can't curb your fucking racism, your anti-blackness. Then you want to make social media posts weaponizing Tupac. Don't give a fuck what Tupac said. Bitch, y'all on y'all own.
You gonna cover, nigga? I'm fixed, nigga.
That nigga right there. Yeah, you do, nigga. Stop playing. Yeah, you can die. That nigga right there.
Y'all can address that, then stop looking for black people to be out there for y'all. Y'all are not black. Latinos, specifically Mexicans, Cubans, y'all are not black. You don't have the right to say that word. You do not come from a lineage of bondage. You do not come from a place where you were sold. Okay, you are not black. No matter how much you try to be a thug, you are not black. No matter how many times you hang around black people, you are not black. And if you are not an African American, a descendant from slavery, that word should never come out of your mouth. This is why most black people are not out there, on top of them being tired because we said we told you so. This is one of the reasons why we don't feel aligned with y'all, because of things like this. And it's not just them, because they learned it from somewhere. And I don't want to hear the excuse is a product of their environment, because baby, I grew up around Latinos. Okay, I grew up around them, and none of them would ever use the N-word in front of me. And yes, I grew up in Houston. So don't bring the Texas shit in there either, because that's BS. They would get checked. And I do mean by the chin. Until y'all can address that shit, don't say nothing to black people. Fix your house first before you go outside.
You gonna come.
So amidst like all like that video going around of like the two like Mexican people using like the N-word to that cop about the kava and all that shit. You haven't seen it on Twitter and shit, but it's like I have never seen a black person ever use like a slur for like Mexican people. I've never heard them use the setback slur. I've never heard anybody say the one that starts with the B. I've never heard a black person say any of those slurs ever before. And like I'll make a different video about how I feel about the N-word because I'm not trying to get myself into trouble today. Not today. But the thing is, I can understand that some people grew up thinking it was okay to say that in certain contexts and da. But what gets me is like when like Latino people like they try to use it as a word to like, use that word to make themselves seem tough, make themselves seem unapproachable, try to like flex and shit. That's where it becomes not okay because you're trying to equate being tough and being scary and being unfuckable with to being black, and like that's not cool. And like additionally, I had a coworker and like we're great friends now. We're chill, like we chilling. But like he had dropped the word, like he's Latino like at one time, and like I didn't talk to him for maybe like 2 months because I was just disgusted. Not because he used the word, but it's like I don't use that word around my grandmother. And she's black, I'm black because of her experience. I know it can be offensive to her. I don't use that word around her. And it's certain groups of black people who I'm around with them, I'm not gonna drop that word just out of respect. I went to like a predominantly white middle school / elementary school. I didn't use that word just because respect for the space. You know what I mean? Like it's like I'm not trying to bring no extra attention to myself. It's unnecessary. I don't need to be using it. So if there's no conversation, like if you approach me and it's like, oh, well, how do you feel about me using this word? I'm not gonna stop nobody from saying whatever they feel like they need to say. But if you're gonna just bypass that conversation and just assume that I'm gonna be okay with you saying that, that's where it's fucked up for me because you wouldn't do that to the black security next door who has a little bit of age on me. You know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say? It comes with the conversation. I feel like a lot of the times Latino people, it's like they just feel entitled to use that shit. And there's been spaces where I'm not even entitled to use that shit. And I'm fully black. And like on Twitter, like they say it's like but Mexican people couldn't even stop using like the N-word for like a day. Like black people out there putting their lives on the lines, like alongside them in solidarity in the protests and shit. They can't stop using it. And that's the truth. That's sad. It really is sad because once again, you don't see black people using slurs for Mexican people. You don't see it happen. Like I've seen black people say "essay," and that's it. It's a shame. It's a shame, and it's like they're doing it to like come off as tough and be strong, and it's just it's not making it worse for their group of people. They're making it worse for black people by using it like that, within that context. It's just a shame. And I understand it is not all Mexican people. It is not all black people. It's never all of one, like the group in question. It's never everybody. There's always exceptions. There's always a group of people within the population who's going to stand out from the norm. I acknowledge that. It's not everybody. I don't even harbor no hard feelings towards nobody. I think it's just very silly.
Yo, thanks so much for this comment. You're spot on. And it's not just, the black and the brown community. Yeah, that's definitely part of it. It's all of it. It's the LGBTQ. I mean, read that book, Chaos, on the Manson murders and how he worked with the FBI or the CIA. So in the 60s, this shit, it's been plotted ever since then to divide and conquer. We need to look at the history for what it really is. And you're totally right about that. My parents live out in the IE, and it's all Trump, There's Asians, there's Hispanics, majority whites. I grew up in that area for part of my life between East LA and the IE. And it was that is that when you're around whites, you pick up on their mentality of racism and you want to be at their level. You're being bullied and all this crap, so you get whitewashed. And that's what it is now, is that they think being white is superior, which is what we're seeing. What has happened? These people at the top are majority white, and yeah, we just really need to go back to our roots and really learn the history and unite, because this Latino on Latino fight this hatred, this racism against our own people. You know, Afro-Latinos against whitewashed Mexicans or whatever you want to call them. I mean, my mom is darker than me. I'm light-skinned, but, you know, I noticed that difference of, you know, people thought I was white and I got treated differently than my own cousins and my, you know what I mean? My family. So, and my mom was the darkest out of her siblings, so there was that. There was hatred amongst in our family. So imagine not being related to people. You know, blacks and Latinos were taught to really hate each other and fucking fight against each other when we're literally fighting the same fight. So we really do need to mobilize since yesterday against what is happening. And really, everybody that's been out there protesting, you need to start sharing that footage to change this algorithm, because the algorithm, oh my goodness, it's just spewing fucking hatred, and that's part of the narrative. I'm focusing on big tech so much because I'm studying cybersecurity, and I know for a fact they swayed the elections. Google. And I shouldn't even be saying these words because I'm going to dox myself and fucking put on some list against, you know, the government. But Google did sway the election. They had ads running in multiple fucking states, totally red, and other states were totally turned off, no ads. Obviously people went out and voted. I know that's a fact, but don't forget that there was a big propaganda machine pushing one side that helped sway the election. Anyway, I'm going on a rant, but the point is, we do need to mobilize. We need to organize, unite with organizations that have fought these fights and know how to protest, know what our rights are, know what to do, know what they're coming after, know how to protect ourselves in these protests. One of my friends in the military that worked in the PSYOPs sector told me, you need to be really careful going out there if you're going to protest, and protect your eyes, because optics, as soon as they scan your fucking eyes, you're in a database. We need to be wearing, protecting our eyes, covering ourselves, our tattoos, our identities, the same way ICE is. And we need to have our phones actually on airplane mode, but we should be taking cameras. I'm going to be taking GoPros out there and stuff. So I'll be sharing more on what I do. And on my Instagram, I posted a lot of resources. It's Tomoko Dubs, TOMOKODUBZ. And I will be focusing my efforts on my community in San Gabriel Valley, Whittier, La Puente, Downey, where I'm from. So yeah, tap in, y'all, and let's really, start following each other. If you're in LA, let's start localizing and really, taking control of the narrative, because we got two wars right now: the online battle and the in real life time battle.
This is all I got from this video. And from what's see, the truth is that some people do not listen, and I do not know why they don't listen. It is because they absolutely want to align themselves with white supremacy. Because if these people had listened to black people, but one thing I have noticed about them is the fact that they are not sensitive. They are not sensitive people. Because if these people are sensitive, yet they definitely would have or might have learned from what happened in Florida. I don't know if some of you remember what happened in Florida. I think in 2022, if I am not mistaken, 2022 or 2023, when Ron DeSantis said that enough is enough, I want you people to leave Florida. And these people started they started picking them up. It really became a problem to the extent that there was nobody in the farm. When I said nobody in the farm. And there were no fruits and other things at the stores. They have to actually bring in some fruits from other states to Florida because it was very bad. Like laborers, they ran away because they were picking them up. And it was so bad that everywhere you turn around, the only thing you hear is that Florida, Florida, Florida. And Latinos also came out to tell Black people if they will help them to speak up. Black people said no, because how many percent of you voted for that man? I don't understand them and bad decision. They make a lot of bad decision. So much bad decision. Right? And after making the decision, like you made decision by yourself, and now it's another person that we have to suffer it. So with all the young lady saying that that they are calling Black people because white people have never been in the picture. But you all are not treating Black people like they have been the one in the picture all these years. You all are treating them like they are not part of the people that made things happen for you. Now, let me tell us something. I just do not want to rage because, like, sometimes when you rage, you don't even get the actual point that you are trying to pass out. When some people, what they know how to do best to other people is to use them. They only come back when they need something. And I love the fact that Black people stopped it. The only time they come around is when they see when they need something. They will never assist you. They will never help you. They will never make your life better. It's like they leech. They leech. So this is it. You all align with white supremacy to vote for this vote in this administration. The same way you people align with them, look for a way to call them out. Now, this is to tell you that all these years, all this while, you all have been alone. I've been saying in majority of my videos, I don't know how you all have been living with people, and you people do not know the people that you've been living with. That tells a lot. I am going to draw the cut in here, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye for now.